Hello friends, my name is Raza Masood. Today we'll discuss about a topic goal plating in project management. Friend, this is a very important topic with respect to exam point of view. If you're a student and studying project management in any university or planning you are planning to give exam of PMP. So again, this topic is very important. Also, if you are a professional project manager and working in any organization as a project manager, so again this topic is very important. You must know that what is goal plating and what are the causes and how to avoid all these things. So let's start. Gold plating. Um, Gold plating, friend, if I just ask from you, in a general sense, if I ask from you what is gold plating, if I ask from you, what does that mean by gold plating in general sense, not in project management, in general sense, friend? Gold plating means, in general, if we talk about, uh, the gold plating means that a person who is working for gold, he or she just put the water of gold, or you can say a golden water, he just put on a metal. In fact, it is not a gold, but uh, after putting the water of golden, the metal, which is not a gold, it looks like gold. So this is called a gold plating in a general sense, in a general manner. Now if we talk about gold plating in project management, friend, gold plating refers to adding the extra features that were not part of the product scope. This is called as gold plating, and it is a very common in software industry or any other normally in general industry. This is a very common thing that most of the people from vendor side, they think that, five modules were agreed. Five modules were agreed that we have to give five modules to customer. Okay, and your programmer think, your software developer think that if we can give one or two more functionalities to the customer, so it will improve the functionality of the product, and he or she can provide it to the customer without the approval from customer side, from vendor side. It will be provided. So this is called as gold plating. We are providing the feature to customer which is not agreed as per the scope of work. So this is called as gold plating, and it is totally unallowed, it is totally unacceptable, and it is wrong, totally wrong. So providing features to customers that are not agreed as per the scope of work, as per the functional specification document, and providing it to the customer just to gain his attention, just to gain his happiness, so it is totally wrong, it is totally unethical and unacceptable. So friend, this is called as concept of gold plating. For example, let me give you a more specific example here. For example, you are working on a vendor side and you are a project manager from vendor side, and you have received a project of e-commerce solution. E-commerce solution says that you have to provide, for example, three features. Let's assume three features you have to provide. What are the features you have? As per the scope of signed scope of work, you have to provide that customer, for example, he can log in into the system, he can browse the available products at e-commerce solution, and he can do the payments through the credit or debit card. Okay, so these are the very basic fee functionality of e-commerce solution. You have to provide it to the customer. As per the scope of work, you have to provide only these functionality. What are the functionality? Customer can log in into the system, e-commerce solution, he can register, he can browse the catalog, can browse the products on the e-commerce solution, and he can do the payments through the debit card or credit card through the system. So these are the very basic functionality of the e-commerce solution. Now once the product development starts, your software development team thinks that if we can provide the functionality of wish list as well, like product, because user can add the product into the wish list item, and he can he can purchase it at some later stage. So this is a very good feature, and it will provide facilitation and easiness to the customer as well. So if we will provide it to the customer, it will be a very good feature, and it will enhance the product functionality as well. So without any approval, from customer side or from vendor side, they provide it to the customer just for the ease of happiness, just for the for happiness of customer. They provided to the customer. Was very happy because they received a functionality without any cost, without any approval from the vendor side, and they are very happy that they have received a very good function, and without their intention, without their initiative, vendor has provided the feature. So friend, as per the PMI, as per the book knowledge, remember one thing, that it is totally wrong, it is totally unacceptable and unethical. This is called as gold plating. Why? Because as per the signed scope of work, you have to provide only these three functionalities, and the functionality for the wish list, it was not part of a scope of work. So this is called as gold plating. It is not part of a scope of work, and we can't provide it to the customer without the approval of change request. If we are providing it to the customer, so this is totally wrong. uh, Honestly saying, friend, with my bottom of my heart, I just want to tell you that this is a very common practice in software industry, that we are providing lots of features, functionalities to customer just for their ease, just for their happiness. We are providing it to the customer, and we don't think that it is wrong, it is unethical, that we are providing any functionality to customer without it has been agreed in the scope of work, it has been agreed in the function specification document, and we are not considering it as a change request. So this is a very common practice. So friend, just remember that gold plating, it is totally wrong, unethical, and totally unacceptable. Friend, what are the causes of gold plating here? Friend, the most common, it is done to make the client happiness, just to make happy the client. That client will be happy, he will send some emails about you, he will appraise you, he will provide good gestures about you, just to gain the happiness of customer. The gold plating done. Team members may add extra functions to prove the ability. They prove that they are very capable enough, so that they are adding this functionality. A project manager may add extra functionality to earn credit from customer side, that customer will be happy. Customer says that he is a very good project manager. He is adding functionality without our initiative. We didn't say that we need this functionality. However, he think from his own mind that this functionality is required, so he adds this functionality without any cost, without any effort, without mentioning our side, he adds it. So these are the one of the cause. Sometimes it is performed to deliver attention from defects. Also, it is a very bad thing, is that for example, your product has some defects. Okay, so to avoid, to divert the attention of customer from the defect, we add some any other functionality which was not part of the scope. So just to divert the attention of a customer, we add another functionality which was working fine. So remember, see what is the scenario. The functionality which you have to deliver as per the scope of work, we are not providing it. However, we are adding any other functionality more which is not part of a scope of work. So again, this is totally wrong approach, totally unacceptable, and it should not happen. Honestly saying, especially if we talk about software industry, it is a very common practice that we do these things. In the last, just I want to give you a very simple example here, just for to remember you. Just want you can remember the gold plating. Suppose you are developing the software for a client. A programmer comes to you and says he can add some extra features to the program with almost no effort. This will increase the product functionality and the client will like it. You agree and allow him to implement the change without any review. So this is called as, friend, the gold plating concept. Remember one thing, friend, in the PMP exam or in the university exam, you will definitely, if you will definitely see these types of questions in the exam. If you select a question, select the option that you agree and allow to implement the change without any review, remember one thing, that your answer will be wrong, totally wrong. It will be called as gold plating, and it is totally unacceptable. Why? Because the functionality was not part of the scope of work, and you are adding the functionality without any review, without any change request. So this is totally wrong, and as a project manager your decision is totally wrong, unacceptable, unethical. So friend, remember one thing, that gold plating is totally wrong. You should not have to do all these things. You have to add the functionality through the change management process. If the scope has been agreed and signed off, so if anything further add, it will be add through the change request procedure. It can't be added without the CR or change request procedure. So friend, that's all from my side. I hope you like this video. If you like, please share it with your friends and colleagues. Honestly, I have tried my level best to explain you the concept of gold plating in a very easy to understand manner, so that it can be helpful for you if you are a student, if you are a professional project manager. So thank you, thanks a lot for your time, and that's all from my side. Thank you.